Hi, I'm Josh. I'm from Denver, Colorado. I just completed a week, or a little bit longer than a week, of medicine here, and did some ceremony. And it was a really cool experience. It's actually my second time coming to this place to do ceremony, and I thought I'd share my experience because I know there's probably others like me that are really stuck in their head and deciding what's the best path for them. And so hopefully my experience can give some light and love to kind of help you understand what's here, and if it's for you, or if you're looking for something else about the ceremony, I can talk about that too. So I found this special place, from a friend who said, you should go here and get some help, get some work. I did. He did some work, and so it was in the back of my head for probably about 5 years. And so I, at one point, hit a wall in my life where I decided, I could keep going. I had done a lot of work already. Done 10-day meditation retreat, silent meditation retreat with Vipassana. I've done work with this medicine in Denver-based settings, just one-offs, and also as part of a church there. And so when I came to this retreat center, I'd done a lot of things already, plus a few others, which I don't want to bore you with too much. And I was ready for something that shifted. I also had done years of talk therapy, and actually professional psychoanalytic work in a very structured way. And there was just some energetic and spiritual and bodily blocks that I couldn't get through in my life. So I came here a year ago, did a 9-day retreat then, and had an incredible experience. It was also very, very hard. For me, my blocks were deep and my anxiety was deep. And I won't go probably too much into that first year because I want to talk about this year. So after that first year, I noticed a bunch of shifts in my life. I just some subtle, almost unnoticeable, and some more drastic. But I just had a falling away of some old habits. Even my friends, who I would say are fairly in tune and, I don't want to use the word awakened, but they're living their lives in a way that's very sensitive and powerful at the same time. They were like, "You're different." So I knew that she was working with me. Aya was working with me for all last year as I did my first 9-day there, and I didn't know if I wanted to come and do more work because it was it was a lot, and if I want my whole life and being to shift, I expect it to be a lot. So I didn't expect it to be easy, but I also knew that I wasn't rushing to come back. About 3 months ago, I had just this mention of, hey, you could do this again. One of my friends mentioned it. You could do more work with her if you wanted. Kind of like just a comment or a thought about when I was saying, I wonder if I should go back. And I kind of brushed it off and didn't really give it too much credence or thought. And then the thought kept nagging me. And so what I thought would be a 5-year or 3-year period between doing more work with her turned into 2 months, and I'm back. So exactly a year to the date after my first 9-day, I came back. I knew that the space was safe. Kind of cautious about how I say this because I don't want it to sound like a promotional. I'm not paid in any way to say it, but I knew the container was strong, and I knew the people here, most importantly, cared about my experience and were invested in making sure that I had the healing I needed to get, and the growth and the shifts of energy, frequency, feeling, and belief. And so this time, working with the medicine, the first ceremony was amazing. I had a bunch of insights. Some spiritual teachers would call them downloads. It was incredible. The container was just as strong as my first year, that first night, and I was able to go really deep. I had a second ceremony, also went deep then, and then the third ceremony hit, and my third ceremony was very, very hard. It's actually one of the reasons why I didn't want to come back so soon, because I knew it was possible. And when I say hard, I just have a hard time releasing control, and I have anxiety that comes up in my life, and it ends up controlling my life. And so the two themes of control, anxiety, and possibly also the theme of like trust was very much the work of Aya. And so I think there's probably some additional work that's happening that I don't even understand or know at this point. But I trust that it's being done. I'm being shifted. So that third ceremony, I basically was really with the medicine and struggling to move energy that she was trying to move through my body. And it just was, if I'm being completely honest, very physically uncomfortable. And I say that cautiously because I don't want to dissuade someone that might want to pursue this medicine. But one of the things you learn is that breath is important, holding to the present moment, and release is important. And that's all things that I can struggle to stay in presence with. And so I didn't necessarily stay in presence that third ceremony as well as I would have liked to. And the end result was a lesson. And the lesson was that that holding control and staying out of presence is very exhausting. And it sounds so basic, but until you know it here and in your body, I can say that to 100 times and you wouldn't necessarily get it. And so to get, the sheer exhaustion of trying to fight for control and fight for breath and presence and let my anxiety win meant that when I was done with that third ceremony, I just fell like from clouds into a bed, and it felt so good to finally release towards the tail end of that ceremony. And I finally got it at that point, like, oh, this was a lesson in control and anxiety. And so for the fourth ceremony, I should stop for a moment. The medicine here is really strong, and it's a good thing that it's strong. I've done medicine in Denver, and it's strong there too, but strong in a different way. What I mean by that is I would have to take several servings over the course of a ceremony in Denver to stay with the medicine. One could argue that maybe at the time, it was several years ago when I was doing medicine more in Denver, at the time I was maybe a little more dense and a little harder to reach me from a spiritual side for change, and so possibly that's why I needed more medicine to break through some of my energetic blocks and my stubbornness. I'd like to believe I'm a little bit more open in the last year, and so possibly that's why, but I don't really think so. I think this is good medicine here. It's usually brewed by the shamans that sing to you and the maestros. So that's really important to me, and I'm happy that that we have that here at this place. And so my fourth ceremony came, and I drank this good medicine, and I experienced it differently. I experienced what it was like to just release anxiety and control, and had some profound healing. I still don't fully understand everything that happened, but the experience was probably the calmest and most peaceful that I've ever had when working with ayahuasca. And I know it won't always be that way, because there'll be other things she'll work with me over my years, but this time it was that. And it was a really good, powerful medicine. And I think there are many things that I'm probably going to draw from this experience in the coming weeks as I process and integrate and do work. But having just this notion that I'm finally beginning to understand how to manage my anxiety and how to stay in presence more. Um, and that's such a basic thing, but for me, it's everything. What I had done before to manage anxiety was to look externally. I would either push it away with like distractions like alcohol or TV, probably more TV or distractions on Facebook, or I would use conversation. And as you can tell from this video, I like to talk, so I would take it to the nth degree, and I would talk to my friends ad nauseum until my anxiety was somewhat placated. And now I'm beginning to see another path for that, and it's been really healing, because my anxiety's been with me since I was 12, and it has just been exhausting to carry, and it's been so with me that I actually didn't even realize that it was hanging on me. That's how familiar I am with it. And I'm not going to suggest that I'm magically healed. I think like any human, anxiety and worry and fear will always come up, but it's just I've seen a different way to manage it, a different way to lean and breathe into it, and I'm grateful for that. So that was my experience with the medicine. We did integration circles, which I was really grateful for, because it helps you understand, process what's happening in your experience, what's happening post-experience. I found that integration here has been really good, whether it's in like a official circle or just around food. It's the other thing. I mean, I'm sure most videos talk about this. The food here is very good. And I don't just mean like I want a good meal. Of course, everyone wants a good meal. But when you're going through hard work and you're just looking for any sort of comfort, and having good food is a comfort. And it helps you in some ways. And so I'm grateful for that. And that hasn't always been the case with all medicine and all retreat centers, where the food has been overwhelmingly delicious and helping you just find comfort in the physical experience of eating. So the food and the integration, I've stayed in touch with people from my year ago retreat. We actually meet once a week, and we still process a lot of what's important in life, and I'm really grateful for that. And that's not the Nimea Kaya directly, but that's just the power of the people that come here and our desire to stay connected and work through life's issues. So yeah, I guess I've talked a lot, and I just wanted to, I had some hesitation about sharing this because, you're on the internet, and who am I to say anything into the world? But I thought, if there's someone else that was in their head a lot like I am, and someone else that has issues with control and anxiety, and also has issues around like what's next in life. I mean, that's very much a strong reason why I came and did medicine here, that this video would help speak to them in some way and reassure them that this would be a good place to do work. So yeah, I hope you find what you're looking for, and hopefully it's here. Thanks.